Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
Huh? So there's been so many people on the internet trying to figure out where you are. They're watching you. They're doing all types of stuff trying to figure you
You
out.
want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing.
So are you trying to say like Jay-Z put hands on you?
I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. And they're going to be crazy. It's going to be the women that give him in the end. And I think it's time for him to start speaking up about his very good friend. Just 9 months ago, you were singing his praises. All that he's done for the culture. And how you gotta be crazy like Diddy to make it. Then you didn't want to sit next to him at the Grammys.
Uh,
Told everybody that he had cooties. And canceled the Rock Nation brunch, which is your favorite event. Because that's how you line up who you gonna move around next. Like y'all did with Clarence Avant.
The recent allegations against Jay-Z have thrust Jaguar Wright back into the spotlight, and the internet is abuzz. If you've been following pop culture controversies, you'll know Jaguar Wright, a former R&B singer and outspoken critic of the music industry, has been calling out Jay-Z and Diddy for years. Now, with the refiling of a lawsuit accusing these music moguls, people are saying Jaguar Wright may have seen it coming.
I'm gonna get you. And I told you I would. And I'm gonna keep my word. And you're gonna pay me in full. I got your boy Diddy by the nuts. How long you think before I'll have yours right here in mine?
what would it take for Jay-Z to go down like Diddy did?
I don't know. But I got an idea that Evan Rogers is gonna help me figure that out.
And who is Evan?
Evan was the producer who only seemed to work on teeny bopper projects, who discovered Rihanna at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel room on the island where she comes from with no parental supervision. And then she was put on a private plane, a minor, from one country to another without parental supervision. And she ended up in a boardroom with Mr. Carter without parental supervision.
Absolutely not.
Doing talent shows at 3 a.m.
So you're saying that the rumors are true. There are rumors.
Because her daddy ain't show up till 24 hours later to pick up a $500,000 check for his daughter's ass. Maybe we should look more into that album Auntie.
Let's unpack what's happening. A civil lawsuit was recently filed accusing Jay-Z and Diddy of alleged misconduct involving a minor at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party in 2000. This shocking claim has sparked waves across social media, leading people to revisit Wright's earlier accusations against these industry giants. For years, she was dismissed as a troublemaker seeking attention, but now, many are reconsidering their stance, some even apologizing for not taking her seriously.
Do you just feel that they'll make any statement about what's going
Beyonce is
on?
losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's going to be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there.
It seems like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say, that's not me. I'm trying to move beyond Diddy. I'm Love now. It seems like Jay-Z would try to run away from his past.
Calling that nigga love and anything that he did love. Brother love. What kind of love? Baby oil love. Baby love. Baby love. Explicit love. Hey! They never thought that hip hop would take it this far.
Oh, man. It's different now.
These lyrics are all hitting different right now. All the people talking about fathers, all kinds of stuff.
So let's just start with Piers Morgan, because there's a headline that went out that was very powerful that people are running with, where it just says, Jay-Z is the real monster. Now, before you speak on it, to even get to Piers Morgan, can you explain how that took place and why even take that interview to go forward?
Well, excuse me. But I have to credit Odell.
Got to Odeezy.
My love. I have to credit him because since we've combined and joined forces and become a hell of an investigative journalism team. See, I'm the content, I'm the passion.
In one of her most talked about interviews with Piers Morgan earlier this year, Wright made bold accusations against Jay-Z and Beyonce, alleging disturbing behavior. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things, she claimed, going so far as to compare Jay-Z's actions to Diddy's, only to conclude that Jay-Z was worse.
I'm also the brain, but I do too much by myself. That's the brain. That's the administrator. That's the bloodhound. And he, there were so many people that hacked into so many of my accounts. People didn't even know how to get in touch with me anymore. And Odell created that lane. And they reached out to him. Piers Morgan's producers called him directly. And we talked about it briefly, and I said, we have to do it. We have to. Because the one thing I know about Piers Morgan is he is smart prey. And not only is he smart prey, he is a great conductor of information. He also vets things viciously. And I want to thank you for that. Because if my word is good enough to make it through Piers Morgan's firewall of please don't sue me, then I guess he just vetted me for every ounce of real life content on this blue couch. We thank you for that.
Do you feel that Pierce Morgan allowed you to get, because you only have so many minutes. I know you don't know exactly how the show's going to be structured.
Yeah.
Did you get what you want to say out? And was there more for you to say? Of course, there's more to say.
I'll never have enough to say.
Right.
There will never be enough screen time for me to say. But what I will say is, I'm grateful for the questions he asked. I'm grateful for the time he gave me to answer. And I pray that I was able to hit everything that needed to be hit for the public.
How did you feel about Vlad going after you?
I loved it. I saw the lineup immediately.
Right.
Especially when I saw the lawyer, Ariel, kid that came after.
Right.
What Pierce did was brilliant journalism.
Right.
He created a beef without there being one. And he created multiple episodes for confrontation after.
Wright also alleged incidents involving unconscious individuals, drawing unsettling parallels to the tragic case of Aaliyah. These claims have left many questioning the public image of these celebrities and wondering what might lie beneath the polished exterior.
Still is some of the finest work that any of them, including Sean Carter, have ever done. Why would you hide that from the culture if you cared about the culture? You can't, because you don't want people to go back and see what you hid, what you lied about, and what was really going on. While you're sitting there, you have me crooning in the background, singing for the angels over lyrics that you wrote for a young woman that you took.
Talk about the young woman that he took.
Aaliyah.
Yes, bless her soul, bless her heart, rest in peace to the late great that never got a chance to even actually arrive. That was before her time, that we all respect and revere.
And look at that. Look at what the fear of man did.
Talk to me.
Because if anybody had truly been focused on God in that moment, they would have forced an investigation, and somebody would have snatched Hype Williams by the collar and just asked him some real questions until he cried.
You mentioned Hype Williams. He branded and marketed himself by being the darker version of what we appreciate. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you. We get some tissue, please, someone. Yes.
Thank you.
So you just gave me like a brain thought that not only was his imagery dark, but you're saying Hype Williams somehow took the dark side to these issues.
I didn't even know who she was. All I know is I got out. I didn't know whose name was on my mind. I didn't know anything.
Before this is over, this is what we're going to do. When we're done, the last thing we're going to do is I want you to give me the opportunity.
If that bitch needed me to believe that I loved her,
When the lawsuit reemerged on December 8th, social media erupted. Jaguar Wright's past interviews began circulating again, with users pointing out how eerily accurate her claims now seem. One user on X, formerly Twitter, wrote, "Jaguar Wright has been telling us about Jay-Z for ages. No one listened to her, and now she's right, again." Another added, "Everyone owes Jaguar Wright an apology for silencing her voice."
you know what I'm saying? To play the game, to get home. You know what I'm saying?
No, I respect the game. Now I have the opportunity to be chilling with you and we casually
Do I got a right? Beggars can't afford to be choosers.
choosy. There you go.
And I tried to go back to jail when I seen her. I asked her to take.
But it's all good.
I said, you know what? Take me back to jail. You can look. Was willing to do for a moment of fame. You allowed yourself to be drugged through the mud.
Disrespected.
Yeah, completely. And guess what? You stuck around. for you.
So what do you think the motivation was? Just the clout?
Absolutely. It was all YouTube generated. And there's ties that lead back to Transrena Kiwi, you know.
I'm lost with that term, but
Tasha K.
Oh, that's
Transrena. That's her middle name. That's what her mama name her. Her mama call her Transrena. I'm gonna call her Transrena.
So you and Tasha K don't get along?
Oh no. Like I went deep. Like I done sat down with like kinetic scientists and she's my enemy from a former life. Yeah. That bitch literally followed me to this life.
You went Ben Carson on me.
She followed me to this life because she was that pissed off that I shit on her in the last one. And guess what? It was the same relationship last time.
Look, you know, you are a genius, or you are notorious for saying things that are that crazy and things that make a whole lot of sense
at the same time.
Yes, so please help.
If I'm crazy, God is crazy.
I agree. I think chaos rules this universe.
Well, I don't think. See, this is the thing. All of these words were invented by human beings. Now, if I let my beloved tell me, I believe the same symbol in the Chinese alphabet, they use the same symbol for tragedy and for opportunity.
It's almost cinematic. A once dismissed whistleblower now hailed as a truth teller. People are combing through her old interviews and finding parallels to the current allegations. Jaguar Wright might be polarizing, but she has undeniably sparked conversation.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Jay-Z, for his part, isn't staying silent. He issued a fiery statement denouncing the lawsuit and its claims. He didn't just refute the allegations. He targeted the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, challenging the legitimacy of the suit and calling for criminal charges if the claims were genuine.
The last question we're going to ask you, Jag, then we're going to get up out of here, and, we're going to see you in Dallas pretty soon.
Yeah. Hopefully this time I won't get arrested again.
Right.
You know, it's me and Odell's 6-month anniversary coming up.
Right. That's perfect.
No.
Definitely.
No, guess what we're doing for our 6-month anniversary? Yes!
What's that?
Housewarming.
That's what's up.
Oh my God. So what was that last question?
Okay. Game and Dash.
Yeah, what about him?
What is your thoughts on everything that he said now since his interviews have came out and he's speaking and now he has to look at a couple things since things have went viral and got mainstream attention. What are your thoughts on Damon Dash? Thoughts?
I suggest he help me complete my wish list and come and sit on that blue couch. Especially after watching the D. Haven interview. I mean, I think it could be kind of explosive to have D and Dame on the couch at the same time. Whoa! Life before the Jigga Man and life after the Jigga. Life before and after death.
See if we can make that happen.
Now, see, that would be the best Christmas present I could ever give Real Life Productions. After that, I'm done. I'm retiring.
Well, Jack, you got to make it happen.
I'm
You
working
got to
on
make it
it.
happen.
And maybe, who knows? Maybe next time me and Big Homie CC can sit down together instead of separately.
Or maybe Damon Dash, D Haven, and Jaguar Wright sit down and have a real good discussion.
That could be something else.
That could be something else. Maybe.
Jay-Z's response was sharp and calculated, aiming to discredit both the allegations and the legal process surrounding them. It's a strong move from someone determined to protect his empire.
To the bottom of everything right then and there.
Whoa.
I think that's what we need to make happen.
Whoa.
Real life street stars.
That's how we do it. All we do is do it big.
Right.
And don't forget to buy your Real Jag cruelty-free t-shirt.
Yes.
Right here on Real Life Production. Going over that thing looks so good.
Man, it's so good. Angel got one on. You got one on right now, Angel?
That's one of my favorites. I hate that I can't wear it more often. But when people say, oh my God! Bless it. Y'all honored me with that shirt.
Nah, people love it.
It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful shirt.
I just can't wait till I get my Touched by an Angel version.
Oh yeah. I got you, Jag. You know that.
Ooh, child, I'm gonna listen to me. I'm gonna be acting the fool. I'm gonna just walk around in that shirt with some heels on. In my new home.
Right. All right. Well, Jag, we'll catch up with you later. In Dallas.
Love you guys, and I'll see you back at home soon.
All right. Yeah,
we love you more, Jag.
And y'all, stay tuned. It's about to turn up.
It's definitely about to turn up.
Let's not forget the broader context. This isn't the first time Jay-Z and Diddy have faced misconduct allegations. Over the years, rumors, whispers, and lawsuits have surfaced, yet they've maintained their powerful positions in the industry. It raises a critical question. Is the entertainment industry structured to shield its most powerful players at any cost?
The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" He added, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Joining us now, Joey Jackson, senior legal analyst and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. There's a lot to unpack here. Joey, I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
So based on the allegations, Jessica, good morning. Good to see you. I think that it certainly could be. Why do I say that? Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her, and that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally. Now, with respect to evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right, more than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress. Number three, that she phone called her dad.
For Jaguar Wright, this isn't just about vindication. It's about exposing what she claims to be the dark underbelly of the music industry.
And, we'll see what happens after the DA looks and investigates.
So what happens now?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right? Before that, just briefly, there was a demand letter sent. And a demand letter is a letter being sent by a lawyer saying, hey, I don't have to sue you. We can sit, we can mediate it. If we reach an agreement, it never sees the light of day. Jay-Z saying, I don't care about your demand letter. I look at it as blackmail. You want to sue me, sue me. You want to look at it criminally, look at it criminally. But it'll go through the fact-finding process. If a trial is necessary to determine the facts, that's what will happen. But it'll be deemed civil. No indication at this point as to whether or not any criminal investigation will ensue. Time there's certain ethical standards that you have to use, and you have to have a good faith factual belief that this is true. Now, you can argue this complaint was filed in October, right? Could have mentioned Jay-Z then. You didn't. Why? It was amended now to include him. Are the factual assertions true? Are they fact or fiction? Is it a money grab or not? All of that will be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay-Z, this never happened, is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his name, reputation, and certainly innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touch on a point, too, that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that? The fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with this specific name?
Yeah, Jessica, so it depends. That's also common. You could amend lawsuits, right, as a matter of course, and you do, to include certain factual allegations. The interesting thing to me in terms of your question and the takeaway, if you had this information about Jay-Z, it happened allegedly in September of 2000, why not include it in the original complaint? What happened between October and now that necessitated you putting in, and it's a question of credibility. Was he celebrity A, right, as was noted in the October complaint? Is this pure fiction? And what's interesting in the complaint is he really, that is the lawyer, tries to tie Jay-Z to Mr. Combs in so many ways, right? Birds of a feather is the argument that he's making. You can make that argument. You need the facts to sustain it. Let's see if they come up with any facts.
All right.
For Jaguar Wright, this moment goes beyond personal vindication. It's about exposing what she claims to be the dark underbelly of the music industry.
The latest involves hip-hop mogul Jay-Z, who issued a vehement denial. This morning, a blistering response from Jay-Z. More than 2 decades ago, the billionaire hip-hop mogul was added to an existing civil lawsuit against Sean Diddy. Third celebrity watched.
The judge has actually agreed that the victim can remain anonymous and that the case can proceed. So there seems to be a little bit more to this case.
Jay-Z vehemently denying the claim, writing, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away." Also saying, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence." Jay-Z also attacked the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, who fired back.
Combs during an MTV VMA after party in the year 2000. The rapper issued a blistering statement in response and directed his comments at attorney Tony Busby, who filed the suit, saying, quote, "You've made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. I look forward to showing you just how different I am." Criminal defense attorney Lexi Rigdon joins me now. Lexi, good morning to you. What a development here. So another thing Jay-Z said in his statement is that this was a civil suit filed against him. And he said these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, essentially saying, if I really did these things, treat me the way I should be treated. So how should we be thinking about all of this? What do you think?
Well, that's some denial from him. And, you know, sometimes celebrities have pretty muted denials, like, you know, I'm not going to comment now, or I direct all questions to my lawyers. I actually admire the strength of the denial. You know, I think that at this point, there's no objective indicia of reliability to this complaint. Now, obviously, things are going to play out and we're going to end up learning more. But if you look at it on its face, it's a 24-year-old complaint. Very significantly, he was not named in the lawsuit in the first instance when it was filed. The girl was allegedly 13 at the time it happened. And in the complaint, it says that she had been given something and she was, quote unquote, woozy. And so I think that this just needs to be looked at in kind of a measured way. Unlike the media is treating some people in the media, you know, Pete Hegseth being one of them, where they automatically hear an allegation and they run with it. I think that this needs to be treated in a measured type of way. We don't need knee-jerk societal reactions. Anybody can make allegations against somebody, and people who are rich and famous are particularly targets. And so obviously I don't know what happened, but I think it just needs to play out and you know.
People are no longer content to sit back and let these stories unfold without scrutiny. They're digging up receipts, revisiting old interviews, and connecting the dots. It's a collective effort to hold those in power accountable, and it's changing the way we consume celebrity news.
We need to give them the benefit of the doubt at this point.
Well, that's what Tony Busby is saying. And so this federal lawsuit was originally filed in October. So interesting that we're only learning about this now. And then Tony Busby responded to Jay-Z's statement by writing this on X. "Since I sent the letter on her behalf," meaning the defendant, "Mr. Carter has not only sued me, if we will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court, not in the media." A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York declined to comment on whether the office is pursuing this case. So what happens next?
Well, who knows what's going to happen with that? I mean, we don't know if the feds are going to be looking into this. They may well be at this point. I think that there are people further looking into Diddy. I think there might be a superseding indictment coming and probably looking into the people that he's associated with himself. But this also may well be beyond the statute of limitations. So it really just depends. I mean, as it stands right now, I can't imagine that there's enough evidence to necessarily bring something, because somebody's accuser saying something happened 24 years ago without more evidence is probably not going to be enough. But then again, we don't know what evidence she has. So it really remains to be seen if this is actually going to be passed on to the criminal authorities or if they're working on it at this point.
All right, so jury deliberations in the Daniel Penny case are set to resume today after the judge dismissed Penny's second-degree manslaughter charge, which carried a 15-year prison sentence. A jury is now being asked to consider a charge of criminally negligent homicide, which carries a 4-year prison sentence. Tell us what criminally negligent homicide is, and should Daniel Penny be worried about being found guilty of it?
Well, criminally negligent homicide is that he did not act as a reasonable person should have under the circumstances. And this is just very troubling, because I was looking at the verdict form, and the verdict form actually says for count 1, which is the manslaughter, if you find him not guilty, then you move on to count 2, which is the criminally negligent homicide. That didn't happen here. There was no finding of guilt of guilt or any acquittal. It was just they were deadlocked. They sent a note. They said, we can't come to a conclusion. The judge made them go back and keep deliberating. And then, treating it almost like an a la carte menu, the state decided to say, all right, well, we'll just dismiss that count. We'll proceed on the second count. Well, that's not what the jury verdict says. That's not how they were charged. It's very, very inappropriate what happened here. His attorneys were outraged. They have every right to be. This is unfortunate. You know, whether he should be worried or not, I'm a little bit concerned that there wasn't just an acquittal or not, not guilty. So there are obviously holdouts on the jury that believe that his conduct, at least for the manslaughter count, had risen to the level of recklessness, which would assume that it rises to the level of negligence. So I don't know. I mean, I think that there is a chance that he could be, but I also think it's equally, probably more so, that it's, again, a hung jury.
We will be.
In her interviews, Wright has painted a bleak picture of an industry dominated by power and silence, enabling the worst kinds of behavior. She's spoken about being silenced and the industry's tendency to turn a blind eye to its own secrets. Now, her words feel less like conspiracy theories and more like an unsettling reality check.
What's going on? Losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's going to be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z.
What makes this story so gripping is how it's playing out in the public eye. Social media has amplified voices like Wright's, voices that might have been drowned out in the pre-digital era.
Who y'all mad at? You mad at God?
What?
I don't get it.
Did you vote?
Something like
you said
that.
What? What'd you say?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Well, yeah, because the candidate that I went for, you had to write his name in. So I hope he gets there,
So, Jag, what are your thoughts on Project 2025?
Oh, by the way, salute to Dr. Cornel West. We were kicking it with him yesterday.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think I really hope more people come while they're going through the very extensive real life Street Star catalog and look at that interview with Dr. Cornel West and why he wanted, as an actual African American black man, wanted to run for president and did.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that, not only the good guys lost, but the bad guys lost too.
All right. So yeah, the internet, of course, as usual, is in an uproar with fear about Project 2025. What are your thoughts? Or have you read it? Do you know what it's about? What do you think about it?
I mean, I think at this point in time, we should more be worried we should really focus on the reality of Project MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all can sit here and buy into all of these, oh, they're doing this, oh, they're doing that. Guess what? If they are, can you stop them? What's the point in complaining about it? If you should only talk about what you can do something about. If you can't do anything about it, then maybe you should just rely on God to see you through. See how simple that is?
Yeah. Speaking of MK Ultra,
yeah,
word around town is that it's being...
As we watch this story unfold,
people are no longer passive consumers of celebrity news. They're revisiting interviews, connecting the dots, and holding power players accountable in ways that weren't possible before.
To control Hollywood.
It is. And the rest of the country.
Yeah, and that a lot of our favorite celebrities allegedly are using it, and when you see them there and they look like they're in a daze or they're completely standing still or something like that, that is what it is. And it's been alleged that some of our favorite celebrities like Doja Cat, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, 2 Chainz are all caught up or have been caught on camera allegedly under the influence. And that a few celebrities have died. They're saying that Brittany Murphy died from...
It's been more than a few. It's been a crop. Maybe that's why Ashton Kutcher wanted to move around so quick.
So MK Ultra is not the same as Tootsie.
No.
No.
Tusi
Can
is a
you?
drug.
Okay.
MK Ultra is psychological operations. Psych tools that teach people how to trick the human mind into believing whatever is being influenced. See, they don't want to talk about it because it's in everything. It's everywhere. You know, shout out to Odell. He, when we first got together, he asked me had I ever seen a movie and that I've never seen before. It's called They Live. Came out in the early 90s? No, 84. Roddy Piper was in it. Keith David, Mr. I've been old and black and angry for a long time. And they, were, co-stars in this film. And Roddy Piper got his hands on these glasses. And when he put the glasses on, it showed what was really there in the world. And everywhere it was commands and prompts: obey, submit, eat, sleep, don't look, pay your taxes, like everything. So it was exposing the illusion of the world that we live in. And, somebody made these special glasses and there was a certain amount of them and he got his hands on one. And he kept trying to tell people, hey, this is what's really happening. Look in these glasses. He literally got in a fight with Keith David for like 25 minutes, trying to get this guy to put the glasses on so that he could say, he said, man, I got a wife.
At the same time, this case highlights the complexities of addressing such allegations. On one hand, due process and evidence are essential. On the other, public opinion is a powerful force, shaping narratives long before any legal verdict. It's a delicate balance that's unfolding in real time.
Beyonce finally responds to this Jaguar Wright interview on Piers Morgan. It's because of this guy, Rupert Murdoch. So it should be noted that Piers Morgan, as you know, has been well known on television, mostly in the UK, and has associations with Rupert Murdoch for many years. Well, his YouTube channel is 50% owned by News UK. You know who owns News UK? Yes, billionaire Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News and many other news channels. As you can see here, Piers Morgan's uncensored YouTube channel, he doesn't own outright. He owns 50% and News UK owns the other 50%. As you can see here, he has a 3-year deal with News Corp. And pay attention, 3-year deal, 2024. That deal is probably up for negotiation. So a lot of fans have had the argument that if Jaguar Wright was lying, why hasn't anyone ever sued her? Well, some legal experts will say, first of all, these celebrities probably do not.
As this story develops, it's worth reflecting on the role of whistleblowers like Jaguar Wright. Love her or hate her, she has ignited conversations that challenge the glossy facade of fame and fortune. By raising uncomfortable questions, she's making it harder for people to ignore the stories that need to be told.